Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button because you will find my videos intriguing and interesting. Tap on the like button and don't forget to share your thoughts at the end of the video. With that said, let's get into today's video. Now we're back again to talking about an interesting issue that always spikes debate. Now it's important to note that discussions around the identity of true Hebrews can be complex and sensitive, involving historical, cultural, and religious perspectives. Now different groups may interpret this term in different or distinct ways, and opinions on the matter may vary widely. It's advised to approach discussions about identity and ethnicity with respect for diverse perspectives and understanding of historical and cultural complexities. But in this video, this palm color man takes us back to the debate of who the real or true Hebrews are. He is heard saying that Africans, African Americans, Native Americans, Mesoamericans, Aborigines, and many Notic tribes in Europe and Asia are the true Hebrew Israelites, which is something that is known, but a lot of different people rather claim to be true Hebrews. But let's check out this video. I will be right back.
Africans, African Americans, Native Americans, Mesoamericans, Aborigines, and many of the Caucasus Nordic tribes in Europe and Asia are the true Hebrew Israelites. They are the red, white, black, and yellow people of Hopi tradition. So what did Yahweh do? He sent the Babylonians, which you'll find in Jeremiah chapter 5 and the succeeding chapters after that. If you read the story of the true Hebrew Israelites in Jeremiah chapter 5 and the relationship to Babylonia, you will see the relationship with African Americans to the colonialist, to Native Americans and the colonialist, to the Aborigines and the Australians who came in and took over the land, and every other story of indigenous people being subjugated by the colonial powers. Now, what are the colonial powers? Because some true Hebrew Israelites are light-skinned, okay? Not all white people are bad. There is, however, a group of light-skinned folks who are called the name stealers. They are the Babylonians. They are the Spanish conquistadors. They are the Venetian bankers. They are who run the Vatican. They are the Bavarian Illuminati, and so on and so forth. This is a warring race that was designed to conquer, infiltrate, deceive, commit acts of violence, propagandize, brainwash, and ultimately put all of us into a prison in this earth. This is the true revelation of the prison planet. They like to get you thinking that we're locked in this three-dimensional simulation and we're having our energy harvested by some sort of interdimensional beings that live outside of it. And although that's possible, it's highly improbable. Because there was times on this earth where humanity thrived in incredible ways that we can barely imagine. We weren't living in a prison then. We were invaded. So why is this important? Why do I keep on reminding people who the true Hebrew Israelites are? That's because y'all are special. You have special powers of prayer, magic, and meditation. You can make all this go away, literally by emitting frequency, the new song, with a strengthened right hand, and rid all the evil from the world. It takes a lot of work. You have to become so righteous that you can see any wickedness in the world. You have to be so courageous that you'll stand up to any tyranny, no matter how massive its military is. And we have to work together. We have to get the four peoples who are scattered across the earth back together, working in unison, understanding that we are united by the principles and motivations of our hearts and our minds as true children of God. We have to stop letting them put corrupt ideas in our minds that pit us against each other in every dimension, whether it's male and female, parents and children, this generation and that generation, this color of skin and that color of skin. What are we united by? We are united by principles, by a deep respect for human life, by a deep respect for great spirit, a reverence and gratitude for creation itself. We must find those people based on those principles without the mitigation of this propaganda which tells you shouldn't like someone because they're of a different gender or skin color or political belief. There is only one way, and this way is a deep respect for humanity as a sacred creation of God. No lying, no stealing, no cheating, no unaliving. You will know the enemy by their nature, by their actions. These are the narcissists, the psychopaths, the sociopaths, everyone in the dark triad who unapologetically commits sins against their neighbor. Those who have no remorse and do not change over time into better people, who don't respect what you say or the boundaries that you place around yourself. This is how we need to start categorizing who our actual enemy is. If a person chooses to be your adversary by continually lying and manipulating and gaslighting and committing any kind of violence, that's your enemy, regardless of what they look like or their political beliefs or anything else. It's the actual sins committed against you. It's the wickedness they willfully commit all the time. This is the only way we separate the wheat from the chaff. And this is why Christ explains when he's debating with the Pharisees that they worship the father of lies. Because in that moment, they're using lies and manipulation and deceit and psychological abuse to try to knock Christ down, to try to get people to not like Christ in dishonest ways. While Christ says, I am of God because I speak truth. The very act of speaking truth, of being loving and courageous, is worshiping God. The very act of worrying and being violent and lying is worshiping Satan, the adversary, the evil one. And remember, never demonize a group, because the name stealers are very clever. They hide behind all these different names and then make you the bad guy when you call them out. But they are constantly shifting their focus. They are constantly shifting their location. They are constantly taking things from people and appropriating their cultures. That's why we must always judge the tree by the fruit that it bears at the individual level with each person. If they lie, if they're abusive, if they're deceitful, if they manipulate, if they steal, these are the things that show who they are. And we need to think of them as an individual person, not as a member of a group. And then we must pray together in community. Why do you think they were separating us? 6 feet apart. You can't congregate in parks. You can't go anywhere. Stay inside your home. Stay looking at the screen so it can propagandize you more and brainwash you more into being disconnected from your fellow brothers and sisters. It is the power of prayer, especially in community. When 2 or more pray in my name, I am there. You send out these frequencies. It affects the real world. The Maharishi effect. We can change this world overnight if we come together, all of the true tribes of Israel, which is effectively all true human beings that were not part of that warring tribe that was created to destroy the world. If all of us come together and start praying with the intention of making the world a better place, the world will become a better place. And when the good people seeking righteousness, following Christ, regardless of what religion you believe in, Christ transcends religion. He wasn't a Christian. If all those people come together with those mindsets, the wickedness will be seen immediately, and the wicked people will not be a part of that congregation. They won't be able to stay inside their skin while they pray with us. And we will see them for what they are, because they will not be able to keep the act up together, because at some point they have to destroy and subvert. They have to try to stop what we're doing. And if we work together and we stick together, we'll be able to see them and weed them out so we can keep that meditation and that prayer pure. This is the only way out of it. We have to undo all the things that were done to us by whatever this evil warlord was and his warring tribe that has been a warden across the earth. Allahu, Almin, Amen, Ruach.
Now, the Hebrew Israelite movement is rooted in Black Judaism, a belief system birthed in the late 1800s by Black Christians from the South's Pentecostal holiness movement. Now, they claim to have received a revelation. America's recently emancipated slaves were God's chosen people, the true Hebrews. According to Black Judaism doctrine, when the kingdom of Israel was destroyed, the Israelites were first scattered across the African continent and then selectively targeted by enemy African tribes who captured and sold them to European slave traders for bondage in the New World. Now, it's a common myth that slaves were randomly shackled up and carried off to slavery. General Yahana, leader of the present-day Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, told the intelligence report. Actually, slave traders sailed for months and days to get to specific pickup points. They knew what people they were taking, specifically the lost tribes of Israel. Now, Black Judaism leaders preached self-empowerment and economic independence, an early form of Black nationalism that was foundational for later groups like the Nation of Islam. Their rhetoric, emphasizing the biblical theme of an oppressed nation being led to a promised land, informed Black activist thought right up through the speeches of Martin Luther King. Now, although followers of Black Judaism thought of themselves as the descendants of the biblical 12 tribes of Israel, most did not take that to mean that other people deserved condemnation or attack. One notable exception was F.S. Cherry, a self-declared prophet who in 1886 started a Black Jew church where he preached that palm-colored people were inherently and hate by God. Now, Cherry also instructed his followers that the earth is square and that Jesus would return in the year 2000 to install blacks over palm-colored people through a race war. Just as today's art-to-the-cist Hebrew Israelite sects are hateful but smaller detachments of a larger non-art-to-the-cist faith, Cherry, who relocated his congregation to Philadelphia in 1915, was far less popular in his time than non-art-to-the-cist Black Judaism founders, the Rev. William Christian and William Saunders Crowdy. Now, there are many myths and misconceptions about Hebrew Israelites. Where do you think they came from? The media and internet are major sources of confusion and misinformation, said Haynes. They come from the writings of various scholars, most of whom didn't grow up in an Israelite family or weren't practicing members of any Israelite community, added Isaac. And so the stories are not the stories they tell. What's wrong with the phrase Black Hebrew Israelites? Now, Black Hebrew Israelite is a term that conflates many different groups that hold widely different beliefs and practices, said Haynes. Some adhere to rabbinic practices and some may believe that palm-colored skinned Jews are imposters or say that all Black people are really Jews. Also, not all members are Black. Many are Latinx and some are palm-colored. Also, Black religious bodies generally use geographic places in their names, not race. The Black Hebrew Israelite movement is a fringe religious movement that rejects widely accepted definitions of Judaism and asserts that people of color or Black people are the true definition of Israel. Followers, who are also referred to as Black Hebrews or Hebrew Israelites, believe that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel. It should be noted that not all BHI adherents include Native American populations in the 12 tribes, but they all agree that palm-colored people or conventionally accepted Jews are not members of the tribe. Now, this is a departure from the mainstream understanding of the 12 tribes as a reference to Jacob's 12 sons, who each represent a different genealogical thread of the Jewish population. Similarly, adherents of the WS Christian identity movement also claim to be members of the lost tribes of Israel. Now, Black Hebrew Israelites are not Jews, and Black Jews are not the same as Black Hebrew Israelites. Black Jews and Jews of color are genuine members of the Jewish faith. Black Hebrew Israelites identify specifically with the biblical Israelites and consider Judaism, Christianity, and Islam to be false religions. Many BHI teachers claim that Jews and other white people forced Black individuals into other religions. Extreme factions believe palm-colored Jews are perpetuating identity theft. Now, Black Hebrew Israelites believe they are members of the 12 tribes based on biblical interpretation that teaches that their population will be spread across the globe, which they tie to the transatlantic slave trade. BHI presents slavery, R2C, separation, and other social ills as divine punishments for disobedience that can only be cured through BHI ideology. Many BHI teachings use verses from the book of Deuteronomy, the 5th book of the Torah, and the King James Bible to tell the history of Israelites from the Old Testament and to give a biblical explanation for the transatlantic slave trade. Teachings assert that the Israelites were warned of repercussions for breaking the commandments but did not abide, resulting in enslavement as punishment and another race inhabiting Israel in their place. Now, preachers use Deuteronomy 28:15 to 68 to encourage individuals to embrace their true title as God's chosen children or continue to suffer in society as their ancestors have. Now, BHI adherents reject all images of palm-colored Jesus and claim that these images are further attempts to steal the Israelites' identity. Adherents have identified a Bible passage they believe shows Jesus was a Black man. Revelation 1:15 of the King James Bible. Revelation 1:15, and his feet like unto fine brass as they burned into a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. Now, the description of Jesus' feet as dark and burned is frequently cited as proof that deceptions of Jesus as white misrepresentation. Some preachers have said that accepting the true biblical image of Christ as he is described and not the new Jesus taught by Christianity is a step towards claiming one's true identity as an Israelite. In extremists, it is believed that Jesus, the Messiah, will only save Israel of the Israelites. Palm-colored people and palm-colored Jews are commonly referred to as Edomites or descendants of Esau and biblical enemies of Jacob. Now, just like you heard, there are many misconceptions, interpretations about who the real Hebrew Israelites are. But what do you, my viewers, have to say about this video? Kindly share your comments in the comment section down below and let's hear what you think about this video.